Good afternoon, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on STEEM. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at STEEM to Bitcoin. This is the one-day chart on Bittrex, and STEEM has been operating, guys, within this range between 13.1 thousand Satoshi all the way down to 12.1 thousand Satoshi, and it's just been bouncing back and forth here, guys, since about September the 28th. So just a little over a month now that we've been bouncing back and forth here, guys. And I told you on my last STEEM update, I pointed this resistance, and this support area out, telling you that we did need to break above 13.1 if this thing was going to continue up bullish. We needed to take this area out, and also pointing out this resistance, or excuse me, the support at 12,100 Satoshi. That price, if it did, saying that if price did break through that support, that we'd very likely come back down and test this order block right here, which sits at about roughly 11,300, 11,400 Satoshi, all the way up to, let's see, about 11,500 all the way down to about 11,200 Satoshi. This is the area I do believe if we do break down out of this support that we're going to come down and test this area right here. And of course, right below that, we've got this very relevant demand zone between 11,000 and 9.8 thousand Satoshi down here. That demand zone was established all the way back in December of last year. We can see that obviously price came back down, got pushed right back up, back down, wick, wick, pushed right back up, wick, wick, and then exploded. So there's a lot of, more than likely, that signals a lot of buy orders that are sitting down in this zone below 11,000 Satoshi, a ton of buy orders. Now, we may get something like this because we obviously got this test when price came all the way back down. It tested this demand zone back here in September, mid-September, somewhere thereabouts, and we broke through by a wick, but it just basically, the body just kind of floated right on top of this support for about 5 days or so, and then took right back off again. So I'm going to be watching this area down here. If you're looking to buy STEEM, if you're looking to get in on a good price, I'd be watching possibly this area right here, possibly this order block right here if you wanted to go in a light and establish a very small position if price does come back down, expecting a bounce in this area. But where I'd go in a little heavier is anything below 11,000 Satoshi, in my opinion, would be a good buy for STEEM, all the way down to and including about 10,000 Satoshi. I'd have a very tight stop at about 9.8, somewhere thereabouts, guys, knowing that if that 9.8 does break, we could be going much, much lower to about 8, even 7.5 thousand Satoshi. I don't see that happening, though. I believe that this would be the bottom of STEEM. As far as the STEEM to Bitcoin pairing, I do believe this would be the bottom somewhere in here, somewhere between 11 and 10,000 Satoshi, in my opinion, if it does break down. Now, one thing that's interesting, as we've been consolidating here, price had been unable to break through with a body on the daily chart here until until October the 27th, where price did come back down, and we had actually a daily candle that closed below this support. Now, price was able to get pushed right back up, but this did soften this support up. So why that's relevant is if we do get a break again, a decisive break where we have a daily candle that's closing, especially if we have a daily candle that both opens and closes below this 12.1 thousand Satoshi, as we saw right there. If we have that happen again, given that this has been softened up here, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing does break down, and at that point we're going to be looking at possibly testing this level, very, very likely coming down to at least 11,000 Satoshi, and this is where I'd be looking for that bounce, somewhere between 11,000 and about 10.5 thousand Satoshi, somewhere in this area. I'd be looking for that very strong bounce, and again, this is where I'd be looking to get in. To the upside, we have this very strong supply zone up in here, very strong resistance that sits at about 12,800 all the way down to 13,100 Satoshi. We can see that since it's been consolidating, that we have not had a daily candle that's been able to break into this supply zone up here. We've just been able to wick through it a few times, and of course the bears push it right back down, and that's been happening now for about a month. Like I said, guys, it's just been getting pushed down every time we wick into it. It's pushed right back down. Happened yesterday. Wicked into it, got pushed right back down. So the good news is that's also softening up this resistance. The bad news is that the bears have been able to very, very decisively push it down each time, and we're getting a softening up of the support. So it's really a matter of which one is going to break first. I'd like to see us test this support again, and us get a daily candle that at least closes up into this, or excuse me, this resistance. I'd like to see us test this resistance again, and a daily candle that closes into this resistance. What we need to see, though, is a break above and then consolidation above 13,100 Satoshi. If we get that consolidation, if we can break above and get that consolidation above that zone, I'm going to start to get extremely bullish on STEEM, and at that point we're going to be eyeing this resistance area up here between 14.3 thousand to 13.8 thousand Satoshi, right up in here, guys. This is the area we're going to be we're going to be eyeing if we can break above 13,100 Satoshi. Again, that's just my opinion, not financial advice at all, but this is the zone that I'd be watching. This is the zone that is very critical that price has to break above. If we come over here and we look at our moving averages, we can see the 8 and 21-day EMA have all been converging, as well as the 50-day moving average have all been converging here for about almost the last month or so. We can see that the Bollinger Bands, this is on the daily chart, the Bollinger Bands have been getting squeezed tighter and tighter. Now we had this little break and then got pushed right back up, hit the Bollinger Bands, got pushed right back up into this zone here, guys. But this is suggesting we're going to get a larger move hopefully in the next, well, I say hopefully if it breaks up, but this does suggest a larger move in the next, I would say in the next week or two. And of course, this is going to be subject to Bitcoin, but this does suggest a larger move, guys. I haven't seen the Bollinger Bands this tightened. I don't know that I've ever seen them this tightened on the daily. If we pull back out here and we just look past over the last year or so, yeah, I mean, I've not seen the Bollinger Bands that tighten at all on the daily chart. So this does suggest a larger move, in my opinion. Doesn't mean it has to happen, just means that that is what this is suggesting. The fact that we have the consolidation of the 821 and 8 and 21-day EMA, as well as the 50-day moving average, these consolidations, and we have the 55-day EMA all starting to converge as well. This does suggest a larger move to come, and we'll wait and see how that ends up playing out. If we come out here and we zoom at the bigger picture, we can see that we are reaching a base here. So even though if we do end up breaking below this, and as I told you guys last time, guys, we do have this, we do have volume profile that is confirming this area right in here where price is right now as the point of control as a very, very solid support. If we just look at this here, now that doesn't mean that support can't break, but it does mean if we look at how that support has broken in the past, it was just a very quick drop and then it got pushed right back up. And quick is a relatively, is a very relative term. Quick could mean even a week or two. But typically, if we do get that drop, it doesn't stay down there for much longer. It's very long. Typically, that's a good area to buy, and then it scoops right back up, and price gets pushed right back up. We've consolidated. We're moving sideways right now. If I get rid of all these indicators, though, one interesting thing that I was eyeing, let me get rid of this, and we look at how this is shaping out here. This very, very, the curvature of this is looking almost too perfect, almost setting up for a possible. And again, I do want to say possible. The fact that we're setting up nicely with the base of this point of control right here, this could be setting up for a possible cup and handle pattern where price comes back down here. Doesn't mean it's going to only flatline. We could get small breaks below this area, getting pushed right back up, but possibly a flat line for just a little bit longer, and then price starts to curve slowly right back up. So it wouldn't be really an explosion up, but it would be a nice, slow, steady, healthy climb up for STEEM. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, guys. This is very dependent on Bitcoin, but I do find it very, very interesting how this is just almost perfectly curving around, almost perfectly setting up for a cup and handle pattern, a long-term cup and handle pattern that'll play out, starting probably would, if that is the case, probably wouldn't start rising until 2019, where we'd start to get that slow rise, the first quarter of 2019. Now, is that going to happen? No, it doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen, but it is something to consider. If we do get a flat line here in price for another month or so, then of course I'm going to start considering that, and we're going to start watching for a slow, gradual rise rather than that explosion in price. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Until next time, guys, please trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Working, signing out.